Very good morning. Audible for everyone? Okay. Audio, video is everything is correct? Okay. So, in the last session, what all we have studied? Good morning, not good evening. Good morning. So, tell me what all we have studied in yesterday's session? Very good. We have seen the introduction. So, we have seen the difference between living and non-living, and we have got an idea about cell and why it is playing that much essential role, so that a living organism should comprise of cell, and also the importance of cell. Okay, and we also studied that the definition of cell, that is fundamental, structural and functional unit of life. Okay, so we also seen that if we want to call something as a cell, then it should exist independently, and second one, it should perform all its necessary function. Okay, so everything is clear now till here. So in today's class we are going towards cell theory. Okay, very important from examination point of view. It may be asked for 3 marks. Okay. So in cell theory there will be a discovery of cell, how the cell came into existence. Okay, till now we have seen that different scientists, that Anton von Leeuwenhoek, all have given the living cell, that they have given only a rough idea about living cell, and these scientists have actually proved about the cell theory. Okay, and also given different postulate. We will see that in the today's class. Okay, so here, so in 1838, okay, remember this data, and the scientist name is Sheldon. Okay, he was a botanist. So, being a botanist, he was studying about the plant cells. So, he was studying about different plant cells, and after so many investigation or so many research, he found out that these plant cells are helping the plants to perform all the essential function, and these plant cells then aggregated and formed in the form of tissues. Okay, so in plants different kinds of tissues are there which are responsible for the proper functioning of that plant. Okay, so Sheldon, he was a botanist. He was mainly working on the plant cell and found out that plants possesses these cells which are responsible for the proper functioning of the plants. Okay, so now again 1839, the scientist name is Chevon. Listen carefully. So he was a zoologist. So Sheldon was a British botanist, German botanist, and Chevon was a British zoologist, and he was doing his study mainly on the animal cells. Okay, mainly on the animal cells. So till 1839 Sheldon was doing the work on plant cell, and Chevon, who was a zoologist, was studying on the basis of animal cells. Okay, so Chevon told that Chevon told that there is a one outer layer. He did not say what is that outer layer. Now that outer layer we call it as a, very good, plasma membrane. So he called it as a, he didn't say anything, but he said that there is a outer layer, okay, there is a outer layer, and nowadays we call that outer layer as a plasma membrane. Understood till here? Any difficulty? No, understood? Okay, so now based on these observation made on animal cell, he concluded one thing, okay, he concluded that all plants and animals, all plants and animals having cells, okay, are made up of cells and cell product. So he concluded based on his observation made on the animal cells and also from some plant cells, he concluded that all plants and animal cells are made up of cells and that cell product. Okay, remember this, very important. All plants and animal cells are made up of cells and cell product. Okay, so now what happened is Sheldon and Chevon was doing work in different regions, but they happened to meet in one day and they went for a dinner. Okay, so while discussing, the Sheldon also doing work on his work in the plant cell also. So Chevon, he was also doing the same work. So they just exchanged their thinkings or their work on the cell. Okay, they both did or explained their work together, and after the dinner and all, they just concluded one thing. Okay, what they have concluded we will study later. So try to remember that Sheldon and Chevon played important role in giving a cell theory, because both were doing a different research, plant and animal cell, and Chevon concluded all plants and animals are made up of cell and cell product. And another thing is cell wall is unique to where cell wall is present, whether in plant cell or animal cell. Very good, plant cell. Okay, so in animal cell we will not see the cell wall, there will be a presence of plasma membrane, but in plant cells we can see the cell wall. So Chevon told that cell wall is unique to plant cell. Okay, so now based on these observation, Sheldon and Chevon told or given a hypothesis that all cells, whether it is a plant cell or animal cell, are made up of cell and cell products. Okay, they have concluded that all plant and animal cells, okay, are made up of cell and cell product. Okay, till now in 1839 they both discussed and given the theory based on their observation, and that theory is called as cell theory. Okay, that theory is called as cell theory, very important. So understood? Any difficulty? No? So shall we move further? So how the discovery or cell theory came into existence? Understood, no? Okay. But now question arises. Okay, we will consider all plant and animal cell are made up from cell and the cell product. But where that cell came? Where the new cells came? From where the new cells came, they did not able to answer. Okay, they did not tell about new cells, how the new cells formed. Can anybody tell me how exactly the new cells were formed? Can you tell me? We all know our body comprise of millions or trillions of cells, but and we also know that even every day there will be a death of cells. But where the new cells are formed? If something is dying, then there should be a origin of some other kind of cells. And how we can able to get answer for this question? What? So we will get the answer, okay, because Rudolf Virchow was the person who found out the answer for this question. Okay, we will see what is the answer for that question. Shall I rub this one? Understood till here? Okay, very important, remember. So Robert Virchow just modified the Sheldon and Chevon's theory because they couldn't able to tell that why and how the new cells are formed. So next scientist is Rudolf Virchow. So in 1855. So till now scientist was knowing that okay, every organism is made up of cell, but there was a question how those cells or the new cells were formed. Okay, so Rudolf Virchow gave that he just modified the Sheldon and Chevon's theory. So what he did then? He told that yes, all cells are, all organism like animals and plant cells are made up of cell, but the new cell is formed by the pre-existing cells only. Cell have the capacity to divide and form from the pre-existing cell. Okay, so remember he told that Rudolf Virchow told that all animals and plant cells are organism made up of cells only, but the new cells are formed from the pre-existing. That pre-existing only is called as omnicellula, E-cellula. So the pre-existing thing is called as omnicellula, E-cellula, because cell cannot come from air or any other things, but it should and it will be formed from the pre-existing cell. So Robert Virchow gave his very important theory telling that all the cells are new cells are arising from the pre-existing cells. Understood? That is omnicellular e-cellular. So this is a NEET or CET question. Remember, very important. Omnicellular e-cellular means it is the cell that is forming from the pre-existing organism or pre-existing things. Okay. So now, then what our cell theory says is, our cell theory says that first point, all organisms, whether it is a plants or animals, everything is made up of cell, made up of cell. Okay, this was a Chavon's observation. And second point is, all cell exist from the pre-existing, that is omnicellular e-cellular. Okay, all cells divide and form from the pre-existing cells. Okay, this was the cell theory which is very popular. Okay, so remember, Sheldon and Chavon just identified the cell and the reason all organisms are having the cell, but how they origin, how they divide, how they form a new cell, they did not able to answer. That question was answered by this scientist, that is Rudolf Virchow, in the year 1855. He gave the theory, or he modified the Sheldon and Chavon's theory, saying that yes, cells are made up from all organisms, cells are essential, cells are doing all its activity, but they are existing from the pre-existing cell. Okay, they are forming, they can divide and they can form pre-existing cell, so that it can divide and it can die, because we know that in day-to-day life there will be a death of millions, trillions of cells in a one day. Likewise, there will be a formation of new cells. Okay, understood? This is all about your cell theory, and it is very important from examination point of view for 3 marks. Okay, any doubts? So this is how invention comes into light. Okay, because those Sheldon and Chavon was doing their research in different countries, but when they happened to meet, they just discussed about their invention and about their thinking, about their work, and they just exchanged their reports. Okay, and given a cell theory which is very important in biology. Okay, understand, the cell, the new existing cell comes from the pre-existing cell. Okay, shall I rub this one? Understood everyone? Any doubts? Okay. From last session we are studying about cell. Now we will actually have an overview about the cell. What is exactly the cell is, and what all comprise in that cell, and what all function they are doing. Okay, now we will have a overview about cell. Listen carefully. So what Chavon told is that there is a outer layer and this layer we call it as, this layer, very good, plasma membrane or cell membrane. Okay, anything is okay, plasma membrane. Now, so scientists observe, that is, who is the invention of nucleus? Yesterday I have told you. Very good, Robert Brown. So, in the invention of nucleus, in the cell there is one dense membrane bound particle. Okay, this is a dense membrane bound particle. Okay, what do you mean by membrane bound? Which is having a double layer. Okay, in a cell everything is having a double layer except ribosomes. This is not a membrane bound organelle. Okay, in the cell there will be a presence of different structures. That small structures we call it as a organelles. Okay, that is meant for different purpose. Okay, they will do a different kind of work so that they can function very well. Okay, so this one we call it as a nucleus. Okay, it is a dense particle, the nucleus. Okay, and the liquid which is present inside this, or the cell matrix, semi fluid matrix which is present inside this cell, we call it as a nucleoplasm. Why it is present, what function it is doing, everything we will learn in detail. Okay, so these nucleus carries the genetic material. What is the genetic material? What is the genetic material? Very good, DNA. Okay, so this nucleus contains the chromosome. Okay, which is important for the transfer of genetic material. Okay, from parents to offspring. These are the genetic material which is transferred from parents to offspring. Now, we have seen that here the semi-liquid will be present, and that semi-liquid we call it as a nucleoplasm. So, now here also some kind of semi-liquid will be present. Okay, and this liquid we call it as a semi-liquid, we call it as a cytoplasm. And remember, all cells majority, that to chemical mechanism, everything happens in this cytoplasm only. Okay, every chemical mechanism, everything happens in the cytoplasm of the cell only. Can anybody tell me why that chemical I mean to say synthesis of ATP, everything happens in the cytoplasm only? Why? Remember, it is also one of the important question. All the chemical process will take place in the cytoplasm. Why? You should tell me. Nobody knows? Because in this cytoplasm all the required enzymes will be present. Okay, all the necessary enzymes which is essential to carry out the mechanism is present in this cytoplasm only. That's why, okay, that's the reason why all the work happens in the cytoplasm. Okay, understood now? Now there will be a presence of mitochondria. It is also a double membrane organelle. and these are the ribosomes. Okay, I told you no, it is not a membrane bound organelle, and these structure we call it as a ribosomes. And here will be presence of rough endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, not rough, what endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, this is structure which is the extension part of this nucleus. We call it as a ER. Okay, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, there will be two different kinds. When we study in detail about these organelle, I will let you know about the functioning of this structure. Okay, and there will be a presence of Golgi bodies. Okay, this is a Golgi bodies. Since from first session we are learning about cell, and now we have seen the overview and different organelles which are present inside this cell. Okay, understood everyone? So now we will have a overview about the function of these organelle. Can anybody tell me what is the function of this plasma membrane? During crash course, I have told you about the plasma membrane. Very good. It helps in the protection. So, it is mainly helpful for the protection, and it is also called it as a semi-permeable membrane. Okay. It is also called as plasma membrane, is also called as semi-permeable membrane. Why it is called as semi-permeable membrane, we will deal in the upcoming classes. Okay, it is one of the very interesting feature about the cell. Okay, now tell me what is the function of mitochondria? It is a powerhouse of the cell. What do you mean by powerhouse of the cell? Gives the ATP. It produces the energy in the form of ATP. Okay, and ribosomes. Very good. It is a protein factory. Okay, I will write here. Ribosomes are the protein factory. Okay, it is called as protein factory of the cell. We will study all these one by one. Okay, for time being, have an overview or have an idea about the cell, so that when we study about the organelles, the things should be more clear. Okay, that's why I am giving an overview about the cell. Next, these are the important. Okay, cytoplasm, all the enzymatic action happens here. So like this, all the structure will be located. Okay, there will be a many number of mitochondria, not only one. Okay, there will be a presence of many mitochondria. There will be a presence of many Golgi bodies. Okay, like this the cell will be comprised, and in the nucleus there will be a presence of genetic material, that is DNA. Okay, DNA is our genetic material. And yesterday I have told you that nucleus is known as the heart of the cell. Okay, it is known as the heart of the cell. So, have you got an idea about the cell? I will tell you once again. Okay, this is the outer layer. Everything is a membrane bound except the ribosome. Remember, this is a neat question. Okay, ribosomes. Next, in the cell there will be a outer layer which is called as plasma membrane. Okay, very important. It helps in the protection and it is a semi-permeable membrane. Okay, it will not allow everything which comes in the surface of the cell. No, it will be sending only selected material inside the cell. Okay, so it acts as a protective layer to this cell, and in this cell there will be a presence of dense structure called as nucleus, and this nucleus is known as a karyon. Okay, karyon means the nucleus. Okay, and remember this. So the word prokaryotes. So remember, pro means before. Okay, before. Karyon means the nucleus. Okay, prokaryotes are the organism which is not having the true nucleus, or it is not having the nucleus. The organism which is not having any kind of nucleus, we call it as a prokaryotes. For example, if we consider this as an organism, their genetic material will be present all over the cell. But in case of eukaryote, okay, U means true. So eukaryotes are the organism which are having the true nucleus. Okay, like this. And the genetic material is safe inside that nucleus. Okay, remember, prokaryotes, pro means before, karyon means the nucleus, and prokaryotes are the organism which are not having nucleus. Okay, and eukaryotes, U means true, karyon means the nucleus. The organism which are having the true nucleus, we call it as a eukaryotes. Okay, have this in your mind. We will study in detail about those two also. So the plasma membrane and the nucleus, which is a double membrane bound, okay, having a double layer and membrane bound structure. In the nucleus, the genetic material will be safe, present inside this nucleus. Okay, and the outer layer of this nucleus is known as nuclear envelope, and the liquid or the semi-fluid liquid which is present inside this nucleus, we call it as a nucleoplasm. Okay, and here in this region, the semi-fluid which is present inside this cell is known as the cytoplasm. All the chemical activity will be taking place in the cytoplasm region. Why means there will be a presence of enzymes which are essential or which are required for the proper functioning or the proper chemical functioning which is taking place in the cytoplasm. Okay. Next, the mitochondria. It is also a double membrane bound structure. Okay, it is also cell organelle which is a membrane bound, and this mitochondria is we call it as a powerhouse of the cell, because from this mitochondria only the energy is produced. Okay, energy, we all require energy because of the production which the mitochondria is doing, that is ATP, the energy in the form of ATP the mitochondria is producing. Okay, that's why, that is the main reason why we call it mitochondria as the powerhouse of the cell. Next, ribosomes. Ribosomes, they are not membrane bound structure but helps in the production of protein. Okay, they are mainly playing important role in the production of protein. That's why these ribosomes are called it as a protein factory of the cell. Okay, then all nucleoplasm and the endoplasmic reticulum, ER, Golgi, everything plays an important role which is helpful in the transportation. We will deal in detail about these organelles in the upcoming session. So till here everything is clear, understood? So don't ever forget about these basic overview. Okay, from this only we are further moving about each organelle and its role. Okay, each organelle's essential role. Okay, so remember, try to imagine cell only a very small thing. Okay, even we cannot see the cell, but inside cell all these things are present and all these organelles are doing their job. Okay, try to imagine the thing. The cell, even we cannot see, it is a micro thing, we cannot see in the bare eyes, but in the microscope you can visualize. But in that small particle also, in that cell, these organelles are performing all the essential and important role in their cell. Okay, so remember, very important, and this is very important, which is the not membrane bound cell organelle, means it should be ribosome. Except the ribosome, everything is membrane bound. Membrane bound means which is having two layers. Okay, which is bound with two layer, outer layer and inner layer. That's why we call it as a membrane bound organelle. Understood everyone?